Right, okay, good evening everybody. It's Thursday night for me and Luke here, but by the time you watch this it'll be Friday. This is episode 8 of my weekly show. I say my weekly show because I started this 8 weeks ago or so, calling it That Weekly Football Show. But the last couple of weeks I had Kev Casey Imageworks in to talk about our droning activities and everything, and this week I have Luke in. Luke has a YouTube channel, School of Science. If you haven't watched it yet, anybody hasn't watched it, get onto it. I will be putting it all down here throughout the show. Luke will do a little introduction in a minute, but this is episode 8 of my weekly show with Luke from School of Science. Right, okay, so here we go. So today we're going to cover quite a bit about our drone activities, mainly Luke's. We'll go then to over to the football side of it. But for now, Luke, if you don't mind, if you fancy it, you want to give us just a little introduction, who you are, what you do,
so
why you're here.
I'm Luke. I'm born and bred Liverpool. Absolutely mad Evertonian. I've been flying the Royal Blue flag across the world as much as I can. So before doing all this, I was in New Zealand and I used to watch Everton in there, getting up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And at some point, watching us get absolutely trounced. So
When you say, so you're born and bred Liverpool?
Yeah.
Before you were in New Zealand?
Yeah.
You lived in New Zealand?
Yeah, I lived there for 10 years. I was 17 when I moved over.
On your own or?
With the family. Me and the family all moved over.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Have all the family moved back or is it
Yeah,
just?
we've all moved back.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, getting up at silly o'clock.
It is silly o'clock. And
I mean, it's hard enough. It's hard enough at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon sometimes, let alone stupid o'clock in the morning. But was there? What was it? Was it just you guys, or is there like a? Was there a group of blues, a blue following over there, or is there now since you've been there?
To tell you the truth, originally I struggled severely to find fellow Evertonians around Christchurch in particular.
Right.
So, but over the course of time, I did get people who sort of came into my circle of friends. They started getting into football because, if you're not aware, New Zealand, it's just very rugby orientated.
Yeah,
they absolutely love it.
The All Blacks, yeah.
But I've started getting a few of them in, and when I left, there was quite a few. There was like a decent, probably say about half dozen to maybe 20 Evertonians who were like absolutely devout Evertonians, and I still get people messaging me.
I was just about to say, do you still hear from them? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got one particular one, my mate Praneel. He absolutely loves Everton. He loves them because of Tim Cahill originally.
Yeah.
He absolutely loved them from that, and he just grew into loving Everton. And anytime we do good or poor, I always get a message off him, like probably say about a couple of hours after the game, talking about him. We end up having a little chat back and forth for like a few hours about it.
It's something you've left over there then, mate, it sounds like. It's great.
Definitely, yeah.
So, since you've been back, as I said, you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
School of Science. You're a big blue. Your season ticket holder, yeah?
Yeah, I have a carer season ticket with my granddad, so what happens is anytime he goes to the game, because he's at that stage of life now where his mobility's not great and his memory's starting to fail.
Okay.
He needs someone with him, so I go with him. I'll transport him to the game. We go to the game. We have a great time, and I bring him back to me nans. So
fantastic, great. That's brilliant. I actually bumped into you, didn't I? And I thought you were with your granddad or something when I bumped into you at Goodison.
Yeah.
So you go to the games and everything, but you've started the School of Science channel. Mention that. I'm going to put that down there. Honestly, guys, watch School of Science, and so you cover mainly it's the new Everton Stadium at Bramley-Moore Dock, isn't it? Was that your?
That was the main focus. It was always going to be Bramley-Moore Dock, because just before I was coming back, we had everything pretty much confirmed. We were coming back, and Everton had made that confirmation. They were saying, "Oh yeah, we're looking at this site. It's pretty much we're going to be building here. We're going to be building a new stadium." And when that happened, I was talking to a few of the friends and some of the Everton supporters group in Australia, and I had a bit of a light bulb moment. I was like, hang on, if I was to get a drone, I could cover this stuff, because I know for a fact they're not going to be able to see it, and I wasn't sure whether it'd actually be that much hyped up. And I thought, if I get the drone, I can do that, get that stuff, and I can upload it so they can see it and enjoy the entire building process. And in all honesty, it'd leave like a bit of a little stamp point in history, because we can see how Everton went from Goodison Park and an old stadium with so much history to a new stadium with all these brand new shiny features and everything. And it's going to be a multi-purpose stadium. We know that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it could. That's another point of it being like that absolute standpoint in like Liverpool's history as a whole, the city.
So was it when you say your light bulb moment? Was that? So was it always to start a YouTube channel as well? Was it?
Yeah.
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 So was it when you say your light bulb moment? Then was it to cover it mainly for the others? Was that where you thought because people are so far away you can't see it?
Yeah, they were pretty much saying, "Oh, I'm gutted I'm not going to be able to see this because it looks like it's going to be an absolutely amazing process."
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going back. Why not do it?
Why not do it?
Yeah.
So were you thinking then it'll just be for them, or were you thinking loads of people will watch this then?
To be honest, it still is for them, in all honesty, because I do occasionally upload it for them. I know a lot of them, I've already subscribed to the channel, so I don't really have to put too much on the Facebook page. But it's become like a very fortunate side effect that more people outside of that have actually come in to see it.
Yeah. It is. So, Luke, as well, as I said, give it a watch because you do yours. So there's, as we know, I'd say, I think you'd probably agree, I bet you will. I'd say it was me, myself, you, and Baz 1878, so Barry 1878.
Baz
we were probably the first three that were covering Bramley Moor Dock. I know I had Kev KC Imageworks on the last show that was a couple of weeks ago because I was away last week, but even Kev was happy to admit that himself. He said by the time he started doing it, it's just one of his mates, I think, said, you should get down there and do that. He said he didn't even realise it was all coming up out the ground and everything by that time. So, but me, you and Baz were literally the first three to start doing it. There's loads more now, is there? As we know, we're in a WhatsApp group with quite a few. There's loads more.
Oh yeah.
But yours is different and you've kept the same format throughout as well. So from watching yours, Luke gives a lot of insight and detail about what's going on. Self-admittedly, not 100% correct all the time, but I said before, didn't I, when we were having a chat, so because Luke said to me, well, it's not always correct. But I said to Luke, we can't be correct unless we're getting inside info.
Yeah.
We just can't be. So Luke, how do you do it then? What's... Because you don't talk through, do you edit yours?
I have mine in post-edit, so what happens is, I get onto site, I've got a strict routine of it now, so first thing I do is to do the pan down, so you see the clouds or see the clear sky, and it comes straight down onto the stadium, a nice little sweep down onto it, and then from there it's pretty much going east, south, west, and then north. And if there's something like big going on, say at one of the stands, I will also do a bit of a closer shot if I can of that stuff to try and get a little bit more detail.
Kind of focus a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
And do you talk? You've always talked over, telling everybody what they're seeing and what you think we're all looking at.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I always I remember looking at yours very early on, and I thought you were getting loads of inside information or something because where you were talking through it.
Yeah.
And talking. Or do you have any kind of any like history or knowledge of construction at all?
No. An absolute sense of it. The closest thing I've ever done to construction work was labour work for about 3 weeks.
Right.
Working on a site, and then even then, there was nothing to do with anything like stadium stuff or any form of construction of that area. A lot of the stuff that I get is purely just by me eyeballing what I see.
Yeah.
And if ever there's like finer detail stuff, I have got someone who does actually provide me information, and it's Martin Evans. You'll probably get him yourself chatting on the channels. He comments on quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And he's occasionally emails me like little bits like with images saying this is this stuff, this is this stuff, this is this stuff.
Yeah.
And that helps me a little bit just to sort of understand what's going on.
They're great, those people, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
got godsends.
Yeah, they are. You'll all know who you are if you're watching this. There's quite a few from. I've got a couple from the Everton site, a couple from the Liverpool site, Anfield, that I cover, and they're just. And also there's ones that kind of are on both and are obviously just have a good knowledge of construction, but they're really good because there's some points like you said that we might point out or say, and they'll jump on quite quickly and say you're wrong about that, but it's this. I never knew what purlins were. I now know what purlins are, but that's just, there's loads more like that loads of info that people take their time to not just put it straight on the YouTube channel that you just said, but email you privately as well. And I think it's just like fantastic that they do that. So we got into then how you how and why you started
Yeah.
droning then. Do you find, I asked this to Kev as well, and it's a valid question because it relates to me as well. Do you find it's much pressure on you at all?
To tell you the truth, I feel like there is a little bit of pressure, definitely exerting on you when you're doing this stuff, because there's just so many different aspects of it that can ruin a chance to get anywhere near the site, whether it be weather, jobs, anything around you, like your just general life.
Yeah.
I mean, myself at the moment, I've work a 5-day job and I've got like a little bit on the side where I hump out like a couple of friends and whatnot, and that sometimes encroaches into me getting the drone footage, because right now this week my plan was to get down there either Friday or Saturday, get the drone up and do what I need to do then, and then from there try and work onto it. But
I haven't looked yet. Are you going to say wind?
The wind might be an issue.
Yeah, I've been looking outside. I was meant to check today. Is it going to be windy, is it?
I'm not 100% certain at the moment. I'm going to have a check on my...
Is that what you were going to say though? Is that?
Yeah, wind is one of the biggest things, because it terrifies me if ever it's a fairly windy day. One of my biggest cues is when I'm getting down to that site, if you ever look at the wind turbines, if them wind turbines are going, it's a bit of a, do a risk it, do a not.
If they're going at a rate as well, sometimes you look down and straight away I spot it. That's funny, that it's a thing you spot. Or you're probably, if you like me, driving along, and I'm always clocking the tops of trees. If I'm going to a drone project, I'm always clocking the tips of trees to see how much they're swaying and that. But yeah, so I'm almost the same as you in that respect, that I've got in my head up my videos, ideally, the latest I want to get my weekly ones out is my weekend ones is Sunday morning. So that gives me a window. Late Friday, Saturday, very, very early Sunday. And I've got a feeling we've got quite a bit of wind this weekend.
I hope not.
Yeah, I do too. Tell you what, whilst we're sitting here, Luke, give me 1 second, because I've got the app saved right here, and we'll have a look. Let's refresh that. Give me a second, guys.
No, it's all good.
No, Luke, we look okay, actually.
Thank God for that.
Ignore that last thing. No, but that's the sort of thing, it just shows that's the sort of thing that we're always consistently concerned about. So, yeah, you've said it exactly how I see it, and I'm glad that's why I've asked you and Kev to see if others feel that, because there's the pressure of getting them out, the videos out, kind of on time. I always feel like I'm on a time limit with all the subscribers, people waiting for them.
It feels like there's a deadline, and if you miss the deadline, it affects the viewership.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has happened in the past, because once, during the Christmas periods when we had a bit of crap weather, I missed a week of videos and pretty much explained to the channel and everything, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's no worries. But then when I got back into the rhythm of it, I felt like my viewership had dropped quite significantly. It went from like consistent, say 7,000 to 8,000. Now you're looking at about maybe 2,000 to 3,000 at that.
A video,
it does,
still from Christmas. That's
It does feel like it falls off a cliff. And you know the funniest one, I found Everton's performance also affects viewership.
No, it does. It does. Mate, you're right. It definitely does. And as you know, you may not like this, but I do Anfield as well.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same, honestly. So, you know when Liverpool got beat at the weekend by City, that was the early Saturday game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I could only do my videos Saturday morning. I could only do it Saturday morning, got it done. So by the time I'd uploaded it, it was coming out at 5 PM or just after, and I knew that's probably one of the lowest viewed Anfield videos I've done. And I knew once that result come in for one City, I was like, they're not going to be in. People aren't interested. No. They switch off to it.
Yeah.
So Everton, Liverpool, whoever go out and get a great win, it goes up.
It does. It rockets.
Yeah. It's amazing, that, isn't it? It's amazing. Have you got? So you, like we said, you're doing the Everton Stadium.
Yeah.
That's your main point. You do a few other videos, don't you? Match videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been experimenting a little bit with the pre-match and post-match stuff. The only problem is, me and my little ADHD brain, sometimes it'll be, okay, I'm going to make this video, and then when it comes time to make the video, it's like, oh, I've got to go do this, and then I've got to go do that. Yeah. I end up putting it off, and it ends up becoming too late for me to do either video, and it just ends up going out the window.
Yeah, I tried a pre-match one, doing a and post-match thing, and for us trying to do it, it's difficult. I found because, like you said, you get too late.
Mhm.
If you leave it till Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and then you do it, by the time you then upload the video and everything, you might be then releasing it
Just before kick-off.
just before kick-off.
Yeah.
People are already on the way to the game or at the game, and they're not going to watch it. But if you do it too early,
Yeah.
which I've found myself, done it too early, by the time I'd said something, 2-3 players were injured and out, and it had all changed anyway. So I was like, you can't really. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. Have you got any other plans? Besides, the Everton Stadium, yeah. Although we've got what a year and a half left, is it something like that?
Yeah.
Year and a half or so, 2 years, but no, it's a year and a half, isn't
I
it?
think it's a year to a year and a half because I know contrary to what quite a few people have said, apparently it is ahead of schedule a little bit. I know there has been people in the Daily Mail turning around and saying, oh no, it's actually delayed by 3 months and all that. And it's like, no, it isn't.
Yeah, but didn't the Daily Mail just put the site up for sale this morning or something?
Oh yeah, they made a quote saying that apparently if Everton get relegated, they're going to have to put the site up for sale.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, sounds like a load of BS to me.
Where's that come from?
It's, to be honest, I think it's one of their head reporters. I'm not sure what his background is, but he seems to have a chip on his shoulders towards Everton Football Club because he is more than happy to jump on negative news. But if anything positive happens for Everton, so if they win on the weekend, he pushes that to the side. He'll make that into a very tiny little corner saying, oh yeah, Everton won.
Yeah.
Whereas if Everton lost or Everton, like right now with the whole financial fair play situation,
Yeah.
he is
All
so
over.
made up to jump on it. It's an opportunity for him to gain clicks because he knows the Everton fan base are more than willing to back the club into a corner.
Yeah. But the Daily Fail, as we call them, if anything to do with football, honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't. As soon as I see a story come out and it's got anything, the Mail anywhere near it, I just ignore it. Honestly, completely ignore it. Like I won't even give it the time of day. I seen this morning that story had come out that apparently we might have to put the site up for sale. As soon as somebody said that source from the Mail.
Yeah.
Forget
Disregard
it.
it.
Yeah, I didn't even read it. Don't even read it. I'm not even going to bother in the time of day. But have you got any other plans then? Will you continue with your channel and look at other things at all when the site's finally done?
So when the site's finished, the thought process with the channel is I don't want to see it die. I don't want it to just fade into obscurity and just be the channel like, oh yeah, they did the drone stuff a while ago. I want to try and keep it going and try and grow into something else alongside the drone stuff when it comes near to its end. So that's why the post-match and pre-match stuff comes in, and I'm not sure whether you know, I've actually done something similar to this recently with Dan's Bluecast. So we were doing a little thing there where it was only for like fun, like they were doing like a little back and forth about trying to guess an Everton player's name based on a couple of questions, and doing that sort of stuff, like reaching out to the wider Everton community. I've been doing that quite a lot. So just trying to get the channel more Everton focused than drone focused once the drone stuff's finished, and try and make it into something like that. You know, something like what Toffee TV, Mighty Blues and those guys are doing.
Yeah. It's a great idea. I think there's loads of room for stuff like that. Football fans are amazing. Loads have subscribed to me, probably you as well.
Yeah.
And I would say honestly, football fans, doesn't matter what team you support, football fans are just amazing. So passionate and committed to football. It's great.
Yeah.
So anything you've got like to do that, even Everton concentrated. Yeah. There is room for it. Toffee TV is great. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one that you've just mentioned. Is that like a podcast you did or something? Is it?
Similar to a podcast, yeah. So how it worked was myself, Dan, and Paul were basically on 3 different video streams, just going against each other, trying to figure out the player based on questions. So like they were saying, what was one of them? It's like your third meal of the day, and you go, oh yeah, dinner, and you go, okay, lock that in. Next question, and then you go into the next question, and then you've got to get a player's name out of the answers from the question. So for that one, it was Diniar Billy Electinov. Right. And it was, you know what, I had an absolute blast doing it, because it was great fun, because we were all having a drink, having a good time, and doing that, and it sort of...
Did you ask all the questions yourself? Like, were you firing, or was it just one of them asking?
It was pretty much Dan, who was the owner of the channel. He was the referee of it all, and he had the questions, and he was having me and Paul against each other.
Mate, send me a link to that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll link it to you after this.
Send me a link. So you've got that. So that's you're not planning on letting it
No.
go. It's going to be something you want to try and
No,
progress into something else, so to speak. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're gonna still do plans to use a drone though. Yeah.
I think I would, if the future allows me to. So what I'd like to do is if I go travelling somewhere and I think, oh yeah, this is a lovely spot, I'd love to get a little bit of this, and just get a little bit of a drone footage and just add that alongside the channel. That would be great. I'd
Yeah.
love to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever go back to New Zealand, I'd love to get the drone up there and show you some of the scenery on there
I'd love to
because
see
it's
that, mate.
beautiful.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So, right, gone over all that. Thanks for sharing all, Luke.
That's all
What
right,
we
mate.
will do now, if it's all right with you, we're going to move on to our second part. We'll do a bit of football talk, eh?
Oh yeah.
Something we both also enjoy talking about. So we'll move on to part 2 now. Right, okay, so here we go on to part 2 of our show. So, Luke, what we're going to do here is go through. I've done like got like a little competition going, me
Yeah.
against the guests, where we do predictions. So, last person on was Kev, Casey Imageworks. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the most recent Premier League results.
Yeah.
We'll look at, me and you'll have a chat about them as well. We'll have a little look at that, little chat about them, any surprises, any comments we've got, and then I'll put up, I'm going to put up a screenshot now which shows the results,
Yeah.
as well as mine and Kev's predictions. So here we go, we'll have a little look at them now. So this is just from the weekend. There were obviously some midweek ones this week as well.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat about them as well. So we'll get going. So from the very top here, Luke. Man City v Liverpool, as we know, as we just spoke about them regarding our viewings and that.
Yeah.
4-1 City, you're smiling already. Yeah, you're smiling already. Everybody can see that, you know. So City 4-1. I thought, did you see the game?
Yes, I saw a little clip of it. To tell you the truth, I feel like Liverpool originally, I thought they were actually going to do City over.
So did me and Kev,
Yeah.
if you look at that. Yeah, I had 3-2, he had 3-0. Wrong away. What makes you say that? Just because that's what Liverpool are?
It's only what happens with these sorts of games, especially with these big games. Liverpool seems to like to pull out the stops, and I thought it was the perfect storm of us because Haaland was out,
Yeah.
and he had been the focal point for Man
Yeah.
City for a while.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, Liverpool have got a decent squad still. Hopefully they'll be able to get a couple of goals. I didn't think it was going to be a big scoreline like that. I thought it might have been like a 1-0 or a 2-0 to Liverpool, but first half of it wasn't too bad. Salah got his goal, and then
Good goal that as well, wasn't it?
It was a cracking
It
goal.
was a cracker, yeah. It was. It seemed like, you know, when Jota managed to kind of touch it, so
Yeah.
the ball stopped. It seemed like the ball was sitting there for ages. Salah had like ages to run onto it.
Oh yeah, perfect. He had the time to run
Like,
onto it, line it up, get it just
Perfect
right.
setup
Yeah.
for him, wasn't it? Must have been. He must have loved that. Yeah.
Oh, it was perfect for him.
But then yeah, City come in the box. Grealish's best game for City yet. A lot of people say.
Arguably it was, yeah, because I know a lot of people were a little bit concerned about Grealish when he was at Man City because he was there as goal scorer and a providing midfielder, and he just he just felt like he wasn't doing what he was meant to be doing. And obviously right now he's just proved the naysayers a little bit.
Absolutely. You'll see there's no points next to me and Kev there from last week. We both went for a Liverpool win and it wasn't. No points. So just so you know, Luke, if we get the result right, as in it say we both put 3-2, 3-0 to City, we'd have got 1 point each.
Ah yeah.
If we'd have gone for 4-1,
Mm.
we'd have got 3 points. Okay, that's how it works. Arsenal leads. I think we can move on quite quick. Absolutely no surprise there, eh?
No, not at all. I mean, Arsenal have been playing absolutely brilliantly this season, and to be honest, even in the pre-season when they played us in the USA, there was a lot of telltale signs they were going to do brilliant that season, and
Yeah,
they've really come on well from when Arteta started on.
haven't they?
Yeah,
Haven't they?
he's settled into the role perfectly. He's got the players that he wants, and I definitely think this Arsenal team's going to be one for the future as well.
I do too. They're all young.
Oh
They're all
yeah.
young. What a signing Trossard was as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I know they've got some great like goal scorers there. You know, you look at Arsenal now and you think Saka, Martinelli, even Jesus has just come back and he comes back and gets 2 straight away. but the or Odegaard as well. Again, Odegaard. But that Trossard signing, I said it when they got him. You know, when I first started doing these videos. For me, that was probably going to be one of the signings of the January window.
Oh.
And I think he's assisted most of the goals since he signed or something. It's a great signing. But so do you think they'll do it?
Yeah, I think this title's definitely Arsenal's this one. Man City have got way too far to climb, and the games that Arsenal have got left, I think it's going to be very hard to break them down. I mean, we did it at Goodison, but that was more down to the fact that we just played the counter attack.
New manager as well. There was a lot there. They're weird, that isn't it? This new manager thing. So maybe that's why like the league at the bottom is so tight this season.
Yeah. Because
all the managers are swapped and changed. So every team's getting that new manager thing. Yeah. So I think they'll do it as well now. There was a point, and I'll admit being wrong here, when they got beat by City in the league, and then was it then we beat them after that?
I think it was the other way around, wasn't it? We beat them, and then City beat them straight after.
Not in the league. City beat them in the cup.
Yeah.
After that, I done a show. I think it may have been with Dan, the Newcastle fan, and I was saying I think this could be them dropping off now, in kind of Arsenal fashion. I'm wrong. They picked it straight back up. Next one's a killer for us, isn't it? Bournemouth, Fulham.
Oh yeah.
That was a killer for us. That.
Absolutely.
I say it was a killer for us, although I did get 3 points for that because I guessed it right. Bournemouth. The reason why I went for that. Bournemouth were performing well.
Yeah.
In games, they beat Liverpool as well a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I just think they were performing well in games, just weren't getting the results. So I just went for it. I thought, you know what, I can see them getting a result there, and they did. But fingers crossed they don't get many more. For us.
If they lose and draw the rest of theirs, I'll be rather happy with that. In all honesty, it's too tight down the bottom. We can't have other teams around us winning anymore. Of course.
And that's it. Like it's, respect to Bournemouth and their fans, but it is what it is. I want you to lose. I want you to lose, but that's not just you. I want Leicester to lose. I want Forest to lose. That's just
Leeds,
that.
Southampton.
Yeah,
Alice.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brighton, Brentford, 3-3. That was always going to be a cracker.
Yeah.
I think.
That was definitely one, because both those teams have been absolute dark horses of the season. It was when Brentford first came up, they were a little bit shaky, and then they found like proper solidity. And this season, they've really proved themselves. They're a very tough team to break down. Before we played them, they had a 13 game unbeaten run. They were just absolutely hammering it.
They're flying, weren't they?
Yeah. I'll be honest, they're a terrifying team. And I mean, even Ivan Toney, although he's got those allegations against him at the moment, he's still one of those players.
Allegations, are they?
I think it's like something like around 100 to 200.
Yeah, but has he been done for it now, or is it?
I don't know. I would have thought if he was done for it, they would have said to him, "You're not playing in the Premier League."
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I think it could just be.
I think it might still be just one of those things in the courts.
I think you're right, but it's charges, isn't it? It's like 100 odd charges.
Yeah.
No, didn't he? Wasn't there hundreds, but he admitted to only a portion of them.
Yeah. I think there was.
Either way, they're going to lose him for a bit.
Oh yeah, they have to. They can't say to him, right, we're going to give you, say, like a £10,000 fine, but you can carry on playing, because that wouldn't set a good standard for the league.
No. They'll struggle.
Yeah.
You can't see them. But look, they are where they are right now.
Yeah.
They're right up there, and it had all the makings of a great game, and it was a good 3-3. I got a point from that. I went 2-2 as well. I was only, I was nearly there. Palace Leicester. Was that it? Palace just got Hodgson in, didn't they?
Yeah, they've just gotten Roy Hodgson back, and Leicester have just lost Brendan Rodgers of all things.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see who they get, because the rumour is apparently it's going to be Benitez. So if Benitez was to come into the club, I wish him all the best, but in all honesty, I'd rather see them go down with him, because it just proved us right that he wasn't a good manager.
Yeah. He wasn't right for us. He wasn't the right fit for us at all.
No. And the thing is that when he goes into Leicester's team, if he does, there's going to be players who he's going to freeze out of the squads, and hopefully Everton can look into it, because there are still quite a lot of good players in Leicester. It's just falling out of the way.
There are. Definitely there are. Forest Wolves 1-1. I suppose that could have gone. I thought Forest might have got a win, so did Kev. last one, but yeah. Much as that really, isn't it? Could have gone either way.
Yeah,
That,
definitely could have gone either way, that one.
Yeah.
It was a very open game from the word go.
Yeah. Move on swiftly, but I'd see what's the guy's Cooper, isn't it? Forest manager. There's been talks that he could be next.
Oh,
he could
aye.
be next one out. It's tough on him though, isn't it? He's given so the team he was managing when he brought them up is not the team he's got now. By far from it.
No.
These 30 players, was it? He signed.
I think it was like 30 players and like nearly 100 million spent in that in the summer and the January transfer window combined. So if they were to go down, that could see them down for a very long time because they will not be able to financially recover from that very quickly.
I wonder if any of the players, because some of the players are
Really
decent
good players, yeah.
good players. I wonder if any of those have got clauses because they were a newly promoted team. So I wonder if any of them have got clauses in the contract, like release clauses if they didn't stay in the Premier or anything like that.
There probably is. There's probably a release clause saying if you go down, your contract's only worth like say a quarter of the amount. Because I know apparently Pickford's got one for Everton. If we were to get relegated, he could be sold for half his value.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Got it. Chelsea, Villa. Chelsea, man. Chelsea are just poor, but say it's also that's a bit tough, maybe disrespectful on Villa because Villa are actually doing really well.
Yeah.
Villa have got a great manager, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a very good manager since they released Gerrard and got the new guy in.
Yeah.
He's
Unai Emery, innit? He's a great coach though, and he's proven it. Some great results. They're right up there, aren't they? I heard the other night when I was just watching some of the football shows that they'd said Villa a few weeks ago. Villa looked like the only team in the Premier League that didn't have anything to play for, and now they're playing for European spots after the last few results that they've really dragged out. So fair play to them. On the flip side, Chelsea, as we just said, Potter out.
Yeah.
And don't say it yet because I want to touch on that in a bit. No, go on, we will.
Yeah.
Just while we go through it, Lampard in. So I'll put the little picture up that I got just earlier today. I screenshotted it when it come in. There you go. Frank Lampard appointed Chelsea caretaker manager until the end of the season. Thoughts?
You know what? I hope he does well with them because it's one of them. I wouldn't say he was a great manager for us. He was a good manager. He helped us stay up, and I mean, granted, he had the likes of Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and all those guys humping him, trying to keep us up. It was just trying to find the right formula to get them playing in the right way, and with him having to sell Richarlison to try and balance the books and everything, and Calvert-Lewin all of a sudden getting injury after injury after injury, he's basically picked up Yerry Mina syndrome. It became the worst scenario for him. It was the worst case scenario. We were pretty much sliding down the table game after game after game, and it was looking like an almost guarantee that we were going down. So I hope that he does well with them. And I mean, with the Chelsea team he's got there, I believe they've got like 31 first team players that he can choose from. So hopefully he can find the right player combination to not only get them up the table, but hopefully get them back into Europe, because right now they're not looking to get even in Europa Conference.
I wish him well.
Yeah.
I wish him well. I do. He was liked at Everton. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because loads of people, I think, outside of Everton would probably be a bit confused as to why we all like him. He was a very likeable guy for Everton, and I think what you've just said there makes perfect sense. He was almost on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah.
After it was like you say, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin. We lose Calvert-Lewin to these mad injuries that he's just consistently getting. Unless there's something else at play there that I've heard a bit of talk about that he's just not kind of with it. But then to lose Richarlison, he was without doubt our best player.
He was.
So yeah, he was struggling. He was struggling at Everton. We get then Dyson, who seems to have been able to just to just work with them better.
Oh, and
You know?
then some. He's got them as he's got them as a well-oiled machine now. I mean, we'll probably talk about it when it comes.
We
to
will.
Everton
No, we will. We
Spurs.
will. But yeah, so we just digressed on to so. So do you think? What do you think of the actual? So I know we both kind of wish him well in that.
Yeah.
And the job. But what do you think of the actual appointments? Do you think it's a bit? Loads of people say it's a shocker. It's madness. Why? If you're bringing in Frank Lampard, right, and you're saying caretaker manager until the end of the season, if you're doing that, why not just leave Potter there?
I think it's more down to the fact he might have lost faith in the actual squad themselves.
Really?
So bringing in the fresh face and being like a club legend might be enough as more of a motivation alongside him, bringing a little bit more tactical know-how. Because with Lampard, it's like what happened when he came to us. It was, this guy's a legend in the football aspect. He's won numerous trophies with Chelsea. He's pretty much a household name. He's the guy who you respect for what he's done, and he's got the know-how on how to bring like certain players, like the best out of certain players. I mean, he did so with Iwobi.
Yeah.
I mean, Iwobi was pretty much...
Iwobi was a different player under him, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Iwobi's not the same player now. I think since he's gone, he's not gone back to how he was before Lampard came, so to speak. But he's not as he was when Lampard was there. I think that's the one that Lampard got the most out of. I think without a doubt. But yeah, for me, I just think it's a bit. I think it's a bit mad. I think it's a bit mad, personally. I think why go there? I wonder what Chelsea fans think. If there's any Chelsea fans watching, love to know your thoughts on it. What would you prefer, Lampard there, Dan Potter, or what? So it'd be interesting to know. But that's just another. It was just another mad story of Premier League managers this season.
Oh yeah.
This season's been mental. I know it's always a bit mad. A club in the Premier League goes through a few bad results, this, that, the other. Especially Chelsea, I suppose, are probably the worst for it. The amount of sackings in that this season has been crazy, hasn't it?
It's been really surprising, to tell you the truth. I mean, normally you probably get about 2 or 3 a season.
Yeah.
I think it's probably what now? Coming up to 8, 9.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's 13.
Yeah.
It's
13.
It's 13. Yeah.
I thought it was 8 or 9.
No.
13. That's.
I think so. I'm
Lunacy,
sure.
that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 13.
Yeah.
I think N'Golo Kante is one. I heard this today, and I don't quote me on this, but I heard this today. I thought it was funny. N'Golo Kante has played 4 games for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think this season, 3 different managers.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I think they must be including Lampard in that. Because Tuchel started, didn't he?
Yeah, Tuchel
Then
started.
Potter.
Yeah, and then Potter.
Was there anybody in between Tuchel and Potter then?
No, went straight from Tuchel to Potter. Because
No caretaker manager or nothing? No.
I don't think so. No, I think what has happened. I think it was might have even just been the assistant manager. Just they said, okay, you're
No,
going to be interim
it's the other
coach.
night, isn't it? It's the other night.
Yeah.
Potter's assistant,
Mm.
who picked the game against Liverpool. It'll be him.
Yeah.
That's the third one. That Potter's assistant, Potter number 2, because normally they let go of the board as well, don't they?
Yeah.
They didn't. So Potter's assistant stayed. I believe that he actually said he'd never picked the team before or something. But anyway, digress there. I was going to cover Lampard later anyway. So there you go. We've done it. It's a bit of a mad appointment, but we both wish him well. West Ham, Southampton. That was one of them for us, wasn't it? It didn't really matter which way it went, I suppose.
Mm.
Although Southampton fans must hate me, by the way, because I say so. Although I'm glad Southampton got beat, because I'd like those 2 bottom places, if possible, to be like solidified. So at least there was just like kind of 1 relegation place to play for, rather than 3 being open. But the 3 are still open. Let's be honest. But yeah, West Ham managed to get points against Southampton. Massive points for them.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be a nice little lifeline for them for the time being. I mean,
You say that, but in a minute we're going to move on to. So this is just the weekend that me and Kev predicted.
Yeah.
And as we know, let's not digress too much. But they played last night.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't go well.
No, it didn't.
It
It did
go
not
well.
at all.
It didn't go well. Newcastle, Man U. What a performance by Newcastle that was.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a scary one, just for the fact that Man U, then you can't discount Man U at all.
No.
The team they've got right now under Ten Hag is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm dreading them for this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm dreading it. But in regards to Newcastle, as much as I hate them, they're doing absolutely brilliant under Eddie Howe. And
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when he was going from
You
Bournemouth,
hate Newcastle, do you?
I absolutely hate
Do
them.
you?
I really hate them.
Oh, come on. Why? I'll have
Just
to get Dan in. Dan, do you fancy getting back in with Luke one time?
alright, bring the boxing gloves while we're at it. It's more down to the fact that they've just come into money now, their arrogance has just shot through the roof.
Yeah,
They've
okay.
gone from being a team, they tried to make us their rivals, and they've done this in the past when they were a fairly irrelevant team. They were just like a mid-table mediocrity team at the time. They'd not long lost Shearer, and they were just sort of hovering around that point, and they were trying to make a rival out of us then. And then it seemed to come to a point when we signed Pickford, because he was from Sunderland,
Yeah.
they then instinctively said, right, we're making them our rivals. We absolutely despise them. The sight of Everton disgusts me and all that sort of thing. And it's irked the ever loving hell out of me. Last season, I went to the game when we lost 3-1. It was Lampard's first
did
game.
you? Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
That was when they just they'd been taken over several months before, but
Yeah.
it was just after the January transfer window. It's easy for me to say, innit? It was just after that, just after
Yeah.
they'd signed Kamara's and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It was always going to be tough.
yeah. But that game in particular, went to the game, everything was hunky-dory. Coming out from the game, Jesus Christ, those fans, they've made themselves a chip on the shoulder for Everton fans.
Yeah.
Because when we were walking back to our car, all I heard from the Newcastle fans was, F this, F that, you guys are going down, you guys suck, all that, giving us absolute hell. And I mean, yeah, I get it, football banter, sometimes football banter,
Yeah.
but I've been to games like when Everton played Man U in the FA Cup semi-final back in 2009. I was walking out of that game when we beat Man U, and it was quiet as anything.
Yeah.
No issues at all.
Mm.
And there was a point where a Man U fan and an Everton fan did collide, but it was just they bumped into each other like, oh, sorry mate.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I felt like if I would have bumped into a Newcastle fan, it would have been flying fists.
Yeah.
They've created this absolute hated rivalry. And I mean, it's even on Twitter as well. If you ever go on Twitter, anything Everton related that pops up, they will come into that chat. They will come into that chat and they will give some hell for it.
Really?
They've wanted to make an enemy out of us.
What do you know? I now hate Newcastle. So, okay. I'm glad digressed there, didn't we think? So, but nevertheless, as we were saying though, right now they're competing with Man U
Yeah,
for that third and fourth spot, so to speak, and they're getting the better of it.
they are. They're playing really well at the moment.
They went through a patch where all they could do was draw.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Yeah, so no points for us though, because I had a draw in Kev had a Man U win. So last but not least, we'll go on to Everton Spurs. So, and as this is the last one, we'll talk a little bit about incidents in this one. I had 1-0 to us, Kev had 0-0, so Kev gets a point. In the end, it was a great point for us, wasn't it? In the end. Because, I say in the end, because obviously we went down to the 10 men.
Yeah.
Before, were you there? Were you at the game?
Yeah, I was in the Lower Gladys.
Yeah.
We sit just in the GC7 area, so we're fortunate enough. We're just over where the corner flag is,
Okay.
so we can see everything without any obstructions.
Oh, lovely.
I think the
Is that the only seat in there? with no obstructions?
Oh no, there's two. Mine and my granddad's.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because I think when I saw you were up near Double Q, weren't you?
I was just going,
You're basically looking through a letterbox back
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I've had bad experiences with that in the past.
Yeah. Well, the next game I went to after that, so you're right, you're exactly right, I was there. And then I went to the Brentford game, and I'd booked tickets, and when I looked, it was kind of there again.
Yeah.
And I ended up going on, like the day before, going on the resale, where it's like season tickets resale,
Mm.
and I got to right at the front of Park End.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I basically, but I just swerved those tickets.
Yeah.
I actually tried to give them away, but nobody even wanted them.
No.
So, yeah. What How did it feel there for that game then, the Spurs game? Because I thought the atmosphere seemed good until obviously they got the pen.
What I felt happened is the atmosphere it was a great atmosphere for the first part of the game. First off, we played a decent game. We were putting the pressure on them. We were exploiting mistakes. We just didn't have that end product. Any shot we had either went high, wide, or just straight at Lloris. And then second half, we were carrying on that momentum, and then the foul happened. Harry Kane took down Demarai Gray, started running off with the ball. Doucouré intervened, tried to get the ball, and there was a bit of shirt pulling, a bit of handbags come out, and Harry Kane obviously did his best theatrical performance possible. I mean, as Sean Dyche said, he thought Harry Kane had broken eyelash or something the way he went down.
Broken eyelash. What's your thoughts on that? What's your honest thoughts on what happened? Harry Kane?
I mean, as a whole, I think Doucouré needs to cool his jets a bit. If someone's doing that to you, you don't react. Just hands up, say, what are you playing at, mate? Leave it at that. You keep your hands up, you keep your distance from them, and you let them act like an arse. But what Harry Kane did, that's pretty much it's next level shit-arsery, to tell you the God's honest truth.
It is, right, it is. Well, I don't disagree with everybody. I've had loads of people saying he's an absolute dirty rat, this, that,
He
the other.
is.
Right, okay. It's also, it was, as much as it does, like, it did wind me up in that. It's fantastic football play by him.
You know what, it is. He played the game, he played it perfectly. He played the ref, he played the linesman, he played everyone around.
He played Doucouré.
Yeah.
He played them all. He knew. It was like, he knew it would wind Doucouré. All he had to do was go, boot the ball on. The whistle had already gone. It was our free kick.
Yeah.
He'd taken out Demarai Gray, as you've just said. It's our free kick. But he knew he had an opportunity there to wind him up. Kick the ball at Doucouré and then pull his shirt. I don't think, the way Doucouré turned, I don't think he meant to hit him in the face. You know?
He was meant to just
I think
push
he was
him
meant to
away.
go like that. Gets his face, played into him, goes down, gets him sent off, ultimately earns his team a points, because I think we were going to win. It looked like, in my opinion, although we struggled to score, so we might not have even scored one, but I think it did look like we were the ones that were going to score there.
We were definitely the dominating force in that one.
Because they're crap.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely terrible at the moment. The morale
crap.
in the team is just gone. I mean, Kante, even he says the heads on in the game. They don't care about trying to progress themselves and winning games. They just care about getting on the field and then going.
Have a game of footy.
Yeah, they've got a Sunday League mentality. I mean, they've actually got less than a Sunday League mentality. They've got 11 mates going for a pub game.
Yeah.
That's their mentality. They think, oh yeah, we'll do this, and then afterwards we'll go get a drink afterwards. That's it.
Yeah.
They look like they don't want to win.
They don't want it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's what one of the lads, James, it was on the other week. He said it summed up Spurs, and I loved it. And I've said this in a few videos where he said they hate winning.
Yeah.
Spurs hate winning. It's like, yeah, that does sum them up. That, and I think they showed it, because then they get the penalty, go in front. Another bit of clumsiness, but it was all really quick. It's easy to watch, I think, and say Michael Keane was clumsy taking down Romero, but in the box. But it was so quick, you know. By the time Keane turned and just sticks his foot out, Romero's running across. Blindsided a bit as well.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't even know if he was 100% certain he was there or whatever, but still a little bit clumsy maybe. But they get the goal, go in front. We're down to 10 men. You'd expect them really to be like, look, get another in.
Just keep pressing on them.
Pressing, get another, because they must know as well. Just being honest here, but they must know that, look, Everton aren't that good.
No.
So they're down to 10 men. They're all wound up. We pushed them here, we're getting on the mud. What they done instead was got that goal from the penalty and just invited us on.
Yeah.
Constant now.
Yeah.
We were like, it was just all us, and it was a bizarre stance from them, bizarre approach.
It was, because I'll be honest, when I was watching the game, I was watching it, they were pretty much trying to play it at the back, and they were just going from Lloris to the defence, around the defence, but their defence seems clueless. I mean, what we did is we pretty much rushed that defence. We had like 4 or 5 players on that defence, and they were still trying to play that game, and it was failing every single time. Yeah. But they didn't know, oh wait, these guys are pressing on us, why don't we press back? They thought, no, we'll keep doing this because it must be working.
Strange, isn't it?
And-
It's very strange,
Yeah.
really strange.
And then when it levels out and it was like 10 men on 10 men,
Yeah.
then the entire game just turned on its head so severely.
I thought we might have even, Keane scored late on.
Yeah.
We had 6 minutes added time. I honestly thought we might get another in.
I thought so as well.
We might actually win this.
Yeah.
We didn't. We got the 1-1 draw, which will, I think, especially when you go down to 10 men and a goal down, you obviously take a 1-1 draw.
Oh,
You've got to, do you know what I mean? The position we're in. But yeah, there's. I think we've done well to get it. So after all of that, so that was just as we digress loads there, Luke. We're going through our predictions, seeing the points there. It all come up to, what was it? I got 6 points. I'll put this up down here. I got 6 points last week. Kev, KC, unlucky lad, you only got 4. That puts me now up to 36 points, but my guests up to 43. So Luke, we'll have a little prediction in a bit for the next weekend's games. And fingers crossed you get them all wrong as well, and I can keep gaining momentum. So just briefly, there's obviously been some midweek games, which we've already spoken about. Chelsea Liverpool briefly put up there. That was a 0-0. It was an awful game. Did you see any of it?
You know what? For a game like that, I was expected at least one of them to have scored because both of them were error-filled beyond all belief. I mean, watching that game, I was surprised it was a Liverpool-Chelsea game because it was just so many errors in the worst areas. I mean, Kepa and Alisson actually kept them both on a clean sheet severely.
Yeah.
They held them up and they should have both claimed a man of the match for that.
Yeah.
Because not the entire Liverpool defence, they were making silly errors. They were basically passing it to the Chelsea team, and Chelsea were doing the exact same.
Yeah.
The fact that neither of them scored is absolutely baffling.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chelsea had the better chances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It was bizarre that it was a 0-0. But like I say, I just thought it was poor. The quality was poor for a Chelsea Liverpool game. You expect I was looking forward to it, looking forward to getting home. Tuesday night put it on. And yeah, it's just unfortunate it was poor. Aston Villa beat Leicester.
I mean, that one's kind of to be expected at this point in time.
At the moment, right now, it is. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately for Leicester, but it is. So you get to know where you've got your money on Leicester in that game, is there?
No.
Moving up there, we're going from the bottom upwards this time. So we've got Leeds, Forest. Forest are in free fall now, aren't they?
It's
That's more pressure on Cooper there.
Yeah, that's quite surprising. I mean, Leeds. My main concern is more the fact that they've got themselves now a second wind.
Yeah.
If they go on a winner's streak now, that's one less team that are going to be in that mix.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. But and on the flip side, Forest are on a bit of free fall.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, what, we can't have them both. They couldn't both lost, but if they could, we'd have taken it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Minus 3 points for both. At least the next game, Brighton beat Bournemouth. That was again. That's the same as the Villa Leicester game. That's it. It's almost a dead cert.
Yeah.
Brighton are just flying.
High and flying at the moment.
Really, really good. Really good team.
If they get into Europe, if they get into any European places, it'll be very good to see them playing in the European stage because I've got a feeling they go really far regardless of what
well,
they're
it's
doing.
so much so deserved as well with the way they've played. It's been no flukes. They play good football.
Yeah.
You've got good players as well.
Oh, very much so.
Bournemouth, another defeat. Right down there for us. Great. Sorry, Bournemouth fans.
Yeah. It's a weird one though with Bournemouth at the moment. I mean,
Just
going up against Liverpool, winning and battering Liverpool, and then coming up against other teams and just not getting the results. It's one of the joys of having the Premier League because you can't guarantee a win. With some people, it's like Man City, regardless of who they go up against, you can't say, oh yeah, Man City are absolutely going to win that, and it'll be right because the other team will definitely pull something out. It's terrifying to think.
It's funny, you're right. It's funny. I just said there, didn't I? Moving upwards, and then Brighton another dead cert there. Although I say that, you could look at that and it could be 1-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't discuss it then as a dead cert. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you see like Man City winning, you'd be like, oh yeah, of course we're going to win.
Yeah.
But if they'd have lost, because me and you watch Premier League every week, if they'd have lost, it wouldn't be like huge shock
No.
on the card. You'd just be like, yeah, because on their day in the Premier League, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, us against Arsenal.
Yeah.
When Arsenal was flying, we beat them 1-0. Before us, Arsenal were on a massive winning streak, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were. I think they were like nearly 20 games unbeaten, weren't they?
Yeah. This is the one I've been trying to get to. That's why I've rushed through the Tuesday night games to get to the. So we'll do Man U first, eh? Man U Brentford. Well done, Man U. You won 1-0. Now let's get to Newcastle. Did you watch this last night?
I actually didn't. No,
I did. Right. I did, and it was like Newcastle were 2-0 up, like really early. They done a lot of VAR checks for the second one, Joe Linton's goal. And he was like, he done a lot of VAR checks, and he was about 2 yards onside when he ran through for it. West Ham's defending, mate, was horrendous.
Yeah.
So bad, it was horrendous. Yeah, but Newcastle also played well, don't get me wrong. Declan Rice, believe it or not, 5-1 score to Newcastle. Declan Rice actually played well.
Yeah.
But the problem was he was the only one. 1 men against 11 doesn't work. The reason why I wanted to get to that though is that I thought David Moyes might have been a goner after that. You know, apparently West Ham have come out and backed him today and said that he's still got their backing. Will that change though?
You never know. I mean, to be honest, sometimes when the board turn around and say you've got the back, and that can be the kiss of death for a manager, because I mean, they said that with Lampard, and then 2 games later, he was gone.
That's right. Yeah,
It's never a certain when a board says we've got your back 100%.
They mean like that. They mean today.
They say right now you're good with us.
Yeah.
But
during this interview, we're backing him because he's still the manager.
Yeah.
But it might change tomorrow or something. Yeah.
Could
I think they've got Fulham this weekend. I think we'll have a look at the fixtures in a bit. And I think I have like articles flash up, and when I seen the article there that said West Ham still back Moyes, or Moyes still got their backing, I think it said, but this weekend's game against Fulham is a must-win game, which basically supports what you just said. Yeah, they back him now, but one more defeat, mate, and
I mean, especially one that bad.
Yeah,
I mean, at home a 5-1 defeat at home is never a good excuse.
No, it was really bad. They just didn't. They just looked awful. Honestly, looked awful. They scored to make it 2-1 though, like right before the second half.
Yeah.
Right before the end of the first half, they scored to make it 2-1, and you think, yeah, could have a chance here. Changes the game. That then they come out, and Newcastle score within like minutes, or I think 20 seconds or something of the second half starting. So, and that was it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tell you what, we'll have a little. Let's have a little look at the league as it stands. There, we'll bring it up. It'll be here, but for us it's over there. Arsenal flying. City, Newcastle, Man U. At Newcastle, Man U. If you look at that, both 28 games, both 53 points. Look at the goal difference.
That's
26 goal difference, 26 plus for Newcastle, and only 5 Man U. That's mad, isn't it?
It's scary to think that goal difference does actually mean that could be the difference of Newcastle getting third and you getting fourth, or even.
Say they win the rest of their games, then
Yeah.
that's it. Because Man U are no way catching up on that. There's
They-
only what have they got?
10 games.
10 games.
Just 10 games, so they'd need to score, what do we say, about. They'd have to get like 3-0 wins at the very least every single game
Every
from
single
then
game,
to the end.
and want Newcastle to only get 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Brighton doing great, as we said before. Again, though, look, it's 6th and 7th there, so Aston Villa are going for that European spot.
Oh, very much so.
6th and 7th, look at the goal difference. Brighton
Yeah.
17, Villa -1. How are Villa up there with a -1 goal difference?
You'd be surprised. I mean, when Everton got the Champions League back in the 04-05 season, we had a negative goal difference when we broke into the top 4, and it was purely.
For some reason, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think that's the thing though with Everton.
1-0, win one game 1-0, lose
Yeah,
the
it's-
next game 4-0, something like that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're like. I mean,
Yeah.
then again, that season we got battered 7-0 by Arsenal. That was the only invincible season, I think.
Liverpool there, Brentford, and like you said before, Brentford doing well. Another win for Brentford. They go above them, but Liverpool got a game in hand. I think there. So where you look at, say, from Liverpool down to Chelsea, I think that's the bracket of the season's over for them 4 teams. Liverpool, Brentford, Fulham, Chelsea. All right, few wins, they push up into a European spot, which obviously they'll go for. But yeah, I think that's almost the only ones that are looking at kind of bit of dead season there, because the one thing I'd say, they could push up into European spots, but they're all so inconsistent there. Them ones where Brighton are not.
No.
And Villa, to be honest, Villa are looking well. So I think Brighton, and I just don't think. I think Liverpool, Brentford, Fulham, Chelsea. I think that could be it done for them. Then we go down to the Crystal Palace downwards. It's all to play for staying in the league, isn't it? 12th down to 20th. It's mad.
It's scary. I mean, I'm looking right now. 15th through to 18th are all the same points.
Yeah.
And it's just purely goal difference separating each and every one of them.
Yeah.
So from there, it is quite literally, if it carries on like this, it is literally going to be the very last game of the season is the decider. And to be fair, our last game of the season is against Bournemouth of all people.
Bournemouth at home as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at Goodison, mid-May, I think.
Yeah.
So that is one of the scariest aspects of it. It could mean us staying up. If we win, it could mean us staying up. If we draw, it could mean our goal difference helping us. And if we lose, that could be the thing that sends us down.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is terrifying to think. I mean,
it's when you look at our goal difference, I mean, if we come up, if it's a toss-up between us and Leicester are better. I mean, they all look bad. When it's a minus, they all look bad. But minus 18, we've got West Ham are better, Leeds are better, Palace are better, Leicester are better. Goal difference, so it's not great. Do you know what? The way it is down there, 2 games, 2 wins, back to back, with other results going your way as well.
Yeah, it takes you out of it almost.
Yeah, it does. Right, we'll move on to some predictions, for next week, and then we'll finish up. Right, okay, guys. Last bit. We promise we'll nip through these quick. I'll get loads more points than Luke anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, here we go. So once again, we'll be looking at the screen up there, straight past you. But your little fixtures will be down here, right about now. There you go. First up, Man U Everton midday game Saturday. Oof, you said it's tough.
It is.
Are you going to go with your head or your heart? I always let my guests guess first. You're going with your head or heart, mate? What are you going for?
I'm going to go with the hybrids of both and say, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw there.
1-1 draw?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's tough, It
is.
It's tough. I'm going to go heart. 1-0 Everton.
Okay.
Oh, God, I'm gonna regret that.
Yeah.
I hope not. Go on. Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest.
I'm gonna say that's 2-0 to Villa, that one.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. Brentford Newcastle. Oh, what a good game this could be. Potential game of the weekend, this one.
I'm gonna say 3-3 that one.
Ah, high scoring, yeah. Just
yeah.
Brentford Brighton-esque. I think Newcastle are playing really well at the moment. I think they'll both score. I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle on that one.
Okay.
Fulham West Ham. Nice little derby.
Yeah, I'm going to say 1-0 to West Ham on that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So as we said before, I'm pretty sure he's been told this is a must-win game. I think they'll save him. All the players at West Ham seem to like Moyes,
Oh yeah.
I think they'll save him. I'm going to go 2-0. Leicester Bournemouth. We've got some interest in this one, haven't we?
Yeah, that one I think is going to be a draw, 0-0.
0-0?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be 0-0.
Okay, I think I'm going to go for a Leicester win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leicester.
Okay.
Spurs v Brighton, another good game. That's the great thing about this season,
Yeah.
Loads of them. You look at them, you're like, oh, this is a good game. It's a good game. This season's been, this season's been great for it. Go on, Spurs, Brighton.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Brighton, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Brighton as well, I'm going for a a big one. I'll go for a 3-2, Brighton. Wolves, Chelsea.
Oof. This is the thing. Wolves, they're slowly clambering themselves together, whereas Chelsea seem to be falling apart. But I think, because Lampard's back in, I'm going to say 2-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah. I think it might be a new manager syndrome there. But no, I'm just going to go the other way, actually. No, I'm not. Oh, this is a tough one. This is tough. I'll go, I don't know what to do. I'll go 2-2. 2-2.
2-0.
Southampton City. Come on, City.
Oh. I'm going to say 4-0 to City.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether Haaland's fit, but if he is, that's a guaranteed 4-0 almost.
I mean, they seem to be alright without him anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Better with him. We should do it with or without Haaland. Like, 2-0 without, 4-0 with. I'll go... So you've gone 4-0, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll go 3-0. 3-0 City, that is.
Yeah.
Then we've got Sunday games. So the 2 p.m. Sunday, Leeds, Palace. Good game.
Yeah. I'm going to say 1-0 Palace on that one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going the other way. I'm going to 1-0 Leeds. I think Leeds are gathering a bit of momentum, unfortunately. And what a game this is for a 4:30 Sunday game to finish off our weekend of football. I love these 4:30 Sunday games, do you?
You know what, I do. It's a nice one. Like, it's a nice chill Sunday, and it's something you can end your day on and you can enjoy it. And
Isn't it great when it doesn't involve us as well?
Oh, very much so.
Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
it's us playing at 4:30 on a Sunday, I actually don't like it as much because I'm like, oh God, if I supported Arsenal or something, I'd probably love it. But you know how it is being a blue. But the fact it's a Liverpool Arsenal game on a Sunday for us, to just watch that as a neutral. Well, for me, will you have your Arsenal shirt on, or does it not bother you?
You know what? As much as I dislike Liverpool, I don't like seeing them getting absolutely battered.
Yeah.
No, because it's a bit sad, really, when you see them in that sort of state. And I know a lot of Liverpool fans feel that way with Everton at the moment. It's a sad state to see them fall so low. So for it to happen to an opposition, yes, I want to see them lose, and I want to see them struggle, but I don't want to see them get out and out ripped apart.
Yeah, it's funny, you say that. I'm like that. So you probably know from my videos. I'm always very respectful to Liverpool, and I'm just not bitter. Do you know what? I used to be a long time ago. I used to be. And I think, when you're younger and that, because I was so much more involved working with people where you're just getting loads of stick and giving loads of stick. It's just different now. And I also, I've got loads of friends and family that are big Liverpool fans that go to the games and everything. I'm like, don't want to see them lose for them as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's better for me because I'll make sure I get my video up before this game on Sunday. Put it that way. But same as well. It just is what it is. Few wins as well, and it's better if you look at it. That's on a selfish point of view, but still. Anyway, so we keep this quick. Liverpool Arsenal, what you going?
I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal on this one.
Are you?
Yeah. Arsenal flying high at the moment, and
really
Liverpool,
good.
unfortunately, they have got errors there. And if he plays Trent Alexander-Arnold in that right back position, it's going to be pretty much giving it to them on a silver platter.
He's struggling.
They need to put him in the midfield. He'd do a lot better as a midfielder than he was as a defender.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is struggling this season, and I think the pace that Arsenal have got down that wing, Trossard, as I said earlier, going down there at him. On saying all of that, mate, I'm gonna go for a Liverpool win.
Oh, aye.
But do you know what I've done since I started this? I think I've gone for a Liverpool win every game. I think they might have I don't think they've won one yet since I've been. Oh no, they must have. Oh, I didn't go for it when it was the derby. I didn't go for a Liverpool win then. But I think they might. They're always capable, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay.
What did you go?
I went 2-0 Arsenal. Yeah.
Right. So we'll see. I'll get those predictions up as well, and we'll see what points we get. Fingers crossed I get full points there and manage to take the lead, but I very much doubt it. So on that note, though, Luke, thank you very much. Once again, Luke's link is down there. Anything you want to say to everybody?
I'd just like to thank everyone for watching me, and if you do come over to the channel, I hope you enjoy my content. As I said, myself, Barry1878 and Mr. Join UK, we all have different styles of doing our videos. Myself, I specialise with like a little bit of commentary and everything like that, and sometimes my commentary's off the mark, sometimes I do get things right, but as a whole, it's just, I have a good time doing it. That's the main thing. It's a good time. We get to see the stadium coming up, and you get to listen to this annoying voice.
You do. Well, that's enough of that. Oh, well done. Yeah. But yeah, jump over and have a look, guys. It is good to watch, and it's different. Like especially I'm talking to the guys that specifically watch the stadium builds, Bramley Moor Dock. Luke does do it differently as well. It's good to watch. But yeah, thanks very much, Luke. We'll leave it there, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Thank you. Take care.